What's up, guys? This is Kyler, and we are back with the Grace Kid podcast. And this week I have two special guests with me, and they're going to introduce themselves.
My name is Chesney. I'm 9 years old, and I'm in 4th grade.
My name is Channing, and I'm in 3rd grade, and I'm 8 years old.
Yes. And guess what?
We're sisters.
Sisters. Okay, so as usual, we are going to start off with our question of the day that Channing has. So, Channing, what is our question of the day?
What was the weirdest thing that somebody told you just recently?
Recently. All right, what is the weirdest thing someone's told you recently? And we will be right back with our answer.
None feel me like you do. I never want to fill my boat with anything else but you. And God, I'll take this moment to give you everything. Cause Jesus, nothing compares to living life with you. Life with you.
And we are back. Okay, so we have some weird answers for you that we have heard recently. And so, Chesney, what is the weirdest thing you heard recently?
That sloths swim faster than they walk.
That is weird. All right, what about you, Channing?
That Canadian geese use their wings as weapons.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Have you ever fought a Canadian geese before?
No, but I've seen one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'd be scared. I recently heard that Australia's diameter is wider than the moon, which I don't know if that's true, but it is the weirdest thing I've heard. Which reminds me about something weird I recently read in the Bible that we're going to be talking about today. If you listened to our podcast last week, we talked about Moses, and this week we're talking about him again, but just a little further in his life. So it is when the Israelites crossed through the, drumroll please, Red Sea! That's right. And so we are in Exodus chapter 14. And so to get us all caught up where we are in the Bible. So Moses gets his call to lead his people out of Egypt. And so he begins to start leading his people out of Egypt. But then he goes to Pharaoh. Well, one, he goes to God. He said, God, give me someone. So he goes with his brother Aaron. And he goes to Pharaoh, okay, like the leader of Egypt, and he says, let my people go. And what does Pharaoh say?
No.
And then some plagues start to happen. And then he goes to Pharaoh again. He says, let my people go. And what does Pharaoh say?
No.
That's right. And then finally, God changes his heart. And he goes to Pharaoh. He says, hey, let my people go. And Pharaoh says, get out of here. Leave. So they leave. And they start to walk around. And they go on this little detour, okay, this little wilderness detour. And God even tells them that, hey, Pharaoh will think the Israelites are confused and that they're trapped in the wilderness. And so word gets all the way back to Egypt. And guess what? It's true. And so what does Pharaoh say, Chesney?
What have I done? I changed my mind. I want them back. Prepare the troops.
Right. Prepare the troops. Get them ready for battle. We're going after the Israelites. And so that is what happens. So they prepare, they start going. And so then here's what happens. So Pharaoh and his troops, they start to come over the hill. And then the Israelites see Pharaoh and Channing. What do they think?
They were terrified, and they started complaining to Moses.
That's right. They start complaining. They're like, why did you bring us out here to die? We would have rather been slaves than to die out here. Leave us alone. And so they start to complain. But Moses, he's calm, okay? He says, do not be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you today. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm. So then God, the Lord says to Moses, why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to get moving. He says, pick up your staff and raise your hand over the sea. Divide the water so the Israelites can walk through the middle. Now, guys, I don't know if you've ever been to like a lake or a pond or the ocean. Have you guys ever seen a body of water split in half?
No. Never.
No. Yeah, me neither. And so I think this is like the craziest thing. So he's like, okay, Sure, I'll do it. And so, the angel of God, okay, he was leading the Israelites by a pillar of cloud, but it ends up going behind them, and it turns into what, Channing?
Fire!
Fire. Now, have you guys ever been close to fire?
No.
No? Fire's
We
hot,
have.
right? Yeah.
But like, not in it.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be inside a fire, right? Fire is hot.
Yeah.
And so, what it says is that but the Egyptians and the Israelites did not approach each other all night long. It says, then Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the Lord opened a path through the water. And so, Chesney, what happens? There's a path now. What happens next?
The Israelites walk through the Red Sea.
Yeah, they start to walk through. And guess what the Egyptians did?
Followed them.
Yeah, they chased after them, right?
Yeah.
But God, it says that God, he threw their forces into total confusion. He twisted their chariot wheels, making their chariots difficult to drive. And then the Israelites realized God is on the Israelite side. He says, let's get out of here, away from these Israelites. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt. And so, all the Israelites, though, they get all the way to the other side. And Chesney, what happens to the water?
The water all falls back down to where it was.
Yeah, it like comes back together and it sweeps up all the Egyptians. And they all die. What happens is that it says that when the people of Israel saw the mighty power that the Lord had unleashed, they were filled with awe before him. They were like completely awe-struck. They were like in awe, shock even. And it says they put their faith in the Lord and his servant Moses. So when I think about this story, anytime I read the Bible, I think, what is this trying to teach me or tell me about who God is? Or how can I apply this to my life? So Channing, what is one way that this applies to our life? Or what does it teach us?
God protects us just like the pillar of cloud that led them, and at night it turned into fire and it was behind them.
Yeah. God is a great protector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he leads the way. What about you, Chesney?
That God does miracles.
Yeah. God does big miracles, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, one of the miracles, just even in this story, is that, one, he led the Israelites, like, he helped them escape. That's a miracle. And just like him moving water, that is a miracle. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that, we need to challenge our listeners to do something about this lesson. And so, Channing, what is your challenge for our listeners?
Tell somebody who has never heard this story and just tell them this story.
Yeah, I think that's a great challenge. What about you, Chesney?
Read the story to your family this week.
Yeah, that's great. And where in the Bible could they read this story?
Exodus 14.
Yep, and that's in the Old Testament. And so with that, we hope you enjoyed. We hope you take on one of our challenges. And we say, bye!
None feel me like you do. I never wanna fill my boat with anything else but you. And God, I'll take this moment to give you everything. 'Cause Jesus, nothing compares to living life with you. Life with you.
If you would like more resources regarding the One Story Plan, go to visitgracechurch.com/onestory. And if you'd like more resources for your kids, you can go to visitgracechurch.com/kids. We also have a YouTube channel, and you can find it by searching Visit Grace Kids on YouTube. If you like this podcast, we would love for you to like, subscribe, share, and leave us a comment. We'll see you soon.